Spain. Lost back post, wide open, deflected, but not far enough, and a goal for Peru here in the early going.
Villalta, I think it is Phil that punches this one in. It's a great ball into him, and it's poor defending at the back for Uruguay. He gets way too much space in. It's a quality ball into Villalta. Makes no mistake.
Well, the diamond glowing on the sideline, Uribe happy. So many good players in the air. Thought it might be Alberto Rodriguez, but he made a different run. Villalta pushes it in. Carini can't push it wide.
I was complaining about Rodriguez in the early going of this game, saying that he looked very ropey out there in that fullback position, and he got victimized there. Villalta really capitalizing on Rodriguez, who was basically absolutely asleep at the wheel. Horrendous defending at the international level by the Schalke defender.
Stoyanov takes a bite of the turf here. Back for Basalar. Now this is about the worst possible start Uruguay could have, because Peru does not need to go ahead and score. They're going to have a few problems here or there, but again, like I mentioned, box to box, this is a team that can normally hold on pretty well.
Well, this game needed that goal for sure to waken itself up.
Just across the touchline.
It certainly needs Uruguay now to electrify themselves, because that was coming for some time. It was on the boards. A really surprisingly languid, sorry start for Uruguay, but maybe that'll rattle their cage now.
There's a Stoyanov.
Good play.
Dangerous ball, but no one making the run back.
That typifies this whole
temporarily. Forlan with the back heel. Abreu, not the fleetest of foot, but I guess as graceful as a giraffe, you might say. Farfan into space. Marinho. The shot! Oh! World class! What a goal! Marinho! It's 2-0 Peru!
Substitute comes in, absolutely explodes off the ball here. He really has no right to hit it from this angle. Onto poor Carini, who has got no chance. Look, he's got options inside of him. He ignores them. He goes for this absolute howitzer.
Remember, Rodriguez is on the sideline getting treatment.
Oh, what
and
a hit,
Uruguay
though.
did not cover.
It wouldn't have mattered, I don't think, Phil. You're right, though. But Uruguay's been playing like they've had 10 men all game. What an absolute wonder hit from Marino. Brave strike at goal, full of confidence. And that confidence comes from his team in the way that they have performed throughout this entire game. I absolutely take my hat off. I was convinced that this Uruguay side had all of the tools to torment Peru, but I make my apologies to them. Look out, bounce back.
A chance for a Stoyanov, kicked away by the defense, Rodriguez. Forlan on the turn, deflected wide. Again into the middle. A Stoyanov blocked. Uruguay throwing everything they have. Poor clearance, Acasiete, but they'll take a corner.
Unrecognizable second half performance by the blue shirts. Look at it again, this full-blooded, mucho gusto hit by Marinho. Magnificent strike. Celebrates like a lottery winner.
Still loose.
Again, Forlan a little bit off focus. Not able to direct it on. A double challenge going in for this ball.
I mean, they look like they're ready.
No, absolutely. US will be facing the guns of Navarone on Thursday night.
And again, because of this loss, Uruguay, should they advance to the second team, might have to face them in the knockout stages.
And exactly, and you know, what faith the American boys will be, literally the American boys, because it's a very young squad that the US are taking to this competition. Looking at this sort of performance by Uruguay, and looking at the performance by Peru with the young blood in, going for the gusto, but playing with a real belief in each other and a tactical awareness about them, that have deserved this 2-0 lead.
Marinho for Paulo. Nice ball, Mendoza.
3-0.
Back for Paulo! Put it on the board! The goal knocked home Mendoza to Paulo Guerrero, who deserved it more than anyone. It is 3-0 Peru, and this will go down as one of the most glorious days in the history of Peruvian football.
And Uribe sees it the way his great talent legends played football. It's a beautiful ball out wide, and there's a considerate touch, a lovely red carpet pass that does justice to Teofilo Cubillas, Cesar Cueto, Chumpitas, Oblitas, Quiroga. They're all stroking themselves now, saying, "Vámonos, Peru!" Astonishing result, this.
Something
In
also
their
to
wildest
notice.
dreams, Phil.
No.
Let's praise these boys in white. This has been a magnificent performance, man. Nothing accidental about it. They've built on their lead. They earned the right to go ahead on the first goal. Uruguay have been impotent in this game. They've got to rediscover themselves in these next two games, or they will be absolutely roasted alive in Montevideo.
Along with the bite that we see here that we talked that was missing from Peru in recent Copa Americas, there was also a selfishness. There was too much desire to play for yourself. As we take a look at Acasiete, here's
what a player he's been.
Rodriguez getting set to try and get in. Goal differential could play a key. Into the air, and Butrón punches it wide. But think about Pizarro when he's out on the break.
Sure.
Ball launched back in for Loco. On the volley, a swing and a miss by Vargas. Think about how many times Paulo Guerrero gave the ball off. Pedro Garcia. Think about what we saw from Mendoza, who was so immature.
Absolutely, it was team football. And again, here the Lions of Peru come.
Through ball for De La Asa, but not enough on it.
But again, it's been backed up by their unselfish belief in one another, the industry and running off the ball, but the skill, as you said, Phil, led up front by Pizarro. Farfan was tremendous when he was in, let's not forget him. But these men at the back, Acasiete, for me, has been absolutely, they should give him a medal the size of a frying pan.
Well,
but
coming
let's
up,
be honest as well, Phil. This Uruguay side, man, they did not get started tonight, and they just got worse, and they've been buried under an avalanche.
9th corner of the game. And I don't think they've had a shot off a corner. And they won't get one here. Venezuela, Bolivia coming up just after.
If we're telling serious truths, I've got to say, though, for Uruguay fans, when the score was 1-0 for Peru, for me, that gentleman in the yellow shirt, Carlos Amarilla, denied a penalty to Uruguay that was extremely debatable. When you're in the box running into the ball like that and you get bulldozed and shouldered off of the ball, I thought it was a pen.
Well, in many ways, it's that big man interpretation. Just ask Onyewu. But Abreu, the big man up front,
it's a good shout.
Gets bumped off the ball. No sympathy. Carlos Amarilla with 2 more minutes left to go.
Well,
blows
I tell
the
you,
whistle.
I'm not shy to say it. Before we went on air, me and the boys in the back room were talking about what the score would be. I got the score right.
Just had it reversed. Bolivia will be next up for Uruguay, Venezuela for Peru, and Venezuela is going to be the interesting one here. You always wonder how the hosts are going to respond to the pressure and to the benefit of playing at home.
Yes.
But Peru just basically gave themselves the insurance policy. They can afford a bad game, a loss or a tie, and then come away against their arch rivals Bolivia. Remember, that used to be part of Peru. There's a lot of ties between those two countries. And it'll be a lot easier to go into that game against Bolivia with 3 points in your pocket.
No question. And against Venezuela, it will be tough for his men. As lion-hearted as they've been. He wants more. That. Absolutely. Rubbing the salt in, he says. But you're right, Phil. But, you know, Venezuela, not the strongest football inside. They are improving. Take a brave man to bet against Peru in this sort of form because the wind is in their sails. Uribe has the belief in them. Again, very early days, but what a first act to come onto the stage with.
Final 30 seconds. Rodriguez keeps it alive for Diogo. The Zaragoza back, lofts it in. Cleared away again. Acasiete also dropping back. Just about everyone. Forlan on the flank. Can't get the cross. It's Acasiete again.
Tell you, man, for me, you can look at all of the wonderful footballers in those white shirts. Acasiete could well be the man of the match. Fantastic Peru. Hugely disappointing Uruguay.
Butrón did what he had to. as he made 3 saves on the game, but 3 goals in the other direction, and Peru comes away with an improbable victory to start out this Copa America.
Superlative performance, no question, and an absolutely fair result that mirrors this game. It was Peru that came out, started nicely ahead of this goal. Villalta leaps up and beats Rodriguez, who was a little schoolboy. Carini's got no chance to deal with it, but again the Peruvians came. They would not relent. This is brave attacking football by Uribe's men. It doesn't get any braver than this. A superlative hit of magnificent proportions by Mourinho.
The long-range blast from the Cienciano mid just set the stage for this bit of art.
And again, this is a delightful approach play. Look at them, they've been stripped naked, Uruguay, by the pinpoint accuracy of Peru. And it's Guerrero who worked his socks off all game. Mendoza gets it, feeds him. Senor Uribe will be drinking a little glass of wine tonight, and he'll be raising it to his men who followed his orders to the letter. Oh. This was a giant of football that Peru beat, and they absolutely did it fair and square and full of style.
A pisco sour type look for Uruguay as Peru puts a frown on their face. 3-0, Villalta, Marinho, and Guerrero with the goals. Don't forget, it's the second match from the opening day. Venezuela, Bolivia from San Cristobal at the Pueblo Nuevo Stadium. Venezuela, Bolivia will have a lot to work out for it to equal what we saw from Peru today. There is a tomorrow for Uruguay. It just becomes a little bit more intense.
This is not the way they wanted to start out. This is not the way anybody expected the star-studded team of Uruguay to perform when they get out of the traps. There's an awful lot for their boys to do in the sky blue shirts. They've got to get better. Can they get better?
Peru does enough, more than enough on the opening day. The fireworks on the field and in the sky. For Ray Hudson, I'm Phil Shane. Until next time, so long, everybody.